Alright, fellas. Alright, we're going live. We're going live. Alright. We are, in fact, live. Folks, I'm a little under the weather. I'll probably say that again later in the stream, because somebody's going to come in here and be like, why do you sound like that? But I am a little under the weather, but I'm in a streaming mood at the same time. So we're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. I'm going to go open up the Google Voice in just a moment. There you go. It's opened up. We are now receiving calls from the Google Voice. On TikTok, you can send in a guest request if you disagree with the prompt I have presented, that Donald Trump is not going to help you. I don't believe that he is. But if you believe that he is, I want to hear why. I want to have that conversation. I want to have that debate. Put our ideas up to the test. Folks, if you think that Donald Trump is going to be looking out for you, if you think he's going to be looking out for working people, I simply want to understand why. And, you know, I disagree with it, obviously. But maybe if you present a decent argument, maybe you can change my mind, right? But I speculate that won't be the case, but we can always be optimistic. Gotta be positive. Excuse me. I'm a little under the weather as well, folks. So if I sound a little sick, I guess I am a little sick. I think it's literally the weather impacting. It's like freezing right now in Florida. And spent a few hours walking and exercising. Got me all stuffy. But folks, if you think that Donald Trump is looking out for you, let's have that conversation. Let's have that debate. If you're on YouTube, you can call in with the phone number above my head. If you're on TikTok, you can send in a guest request. Do I have the thing here? Yes, I have the guest request open, so I can pull people in whenever. Alright, perfect. Everything's set up. Folks, if you think that Donald Trump is looking out for you, if you think he's looking out for regular people, I disagree with you. But we ought to have that conversation. We ought to have that debate, because people of different sides of the political spectrum need to be able to communicate. I think most of us can agree with that. Also, I'm surprised that the number is doing so well so quickly on TikTok, but I'm not seeing a bunch of angry MAGA folks. MAGA, if you are in the chat, let yourself be heard. Ask your questions. Call in, send in a guest request, and we can have that conversation. I see some hearts. Folks, drop some hearts. It's a very nice thing to do. And we all like being nice people. T. Griff says, why didn't it hurt in 2017 to 2020? It depends on who you're asking. If you talk to the people, the millions upon millions upon millions of people that lost their health insurance under Donald Trump, I think it hurt them. But maybe you weren't paying attention. But we can go into specific policy reasons why it's going to hurt. I would like to know those specific policy reasons on your end why you think it's going to be good. Right? You know, one of the things I remember conservatives apparently cared about was the deficit. You know, was fiscal responsibility, as they say. But they've kind of dropped that entire notion as Donald Trump, expanded the debt more than any other president in the history of the United States of America. We've had presidents that have had to conquer literally the Great Depression with massive spending. But somehow Donald Trump and his tax cuts for the rich were enough to surpass his own record. Let's wait and see. Time will tell, user says. Of course, we will wait and see, but while we're waiting, we can discuss based on the things that are being said and the things that are being promised based on the record, right? We can't just close our eyes, wait and see. We're all participants in democracy, or at least we should be. Even if you're just a random guy, your view on the matter should be just as important as the billionaire oligarch that donates to political campaigns. Union Guy says, tax cuts for the rich and the middle class is paying for them. Precisely. 83% of the tax cuts in his first term went to the top 1%. The working class or middle class tax cuts had a sunset clause, and really those tax cuts weren't even much. They were barely anything. This person says he does not have a plan to reduce inflation. Yeah, that's 100% true. Pretty much everything he promises and he's talked about is inflationary, which is kind of funny. It's kind of funny. I thought the reason that he was supposed to win was to bring down the price of eggs. I'm not hearing anything about that. User says, make predictions all you want, but still have to wait and see. Yeah, we're going to wait and see. Everyone here is guessing. None of you are experts. I'm actually an expert. I'm actually the biggest expert. JBO on YouTube chat says, inflation is down since he won. JBO, I'm curious why you think that happened, if that's even true. And would that not literally be to Biden's credit, considering Biden is president, based on your logic? Or do you think that Donald Trump winning alone magically helps the economy? Because that's extremely silly. The stock market will go up because people are expecting more corporate tax cuts, and the bullshit motherfuckers on Wall Street are obviously doing the bullshit things they do. Here in Washington, state eggs are $3 a dozen, someone says. How is he going to buy Greenland and cut taxes? I don't know. He doesn't explain. Well, I mean, maybe he's just going to do a military invasion, but someone got to tell him a military invasion of Greenland is also going to cost money. Americans voted for Trump. That's why he had beat two of the best that the Dems had to offer. If you think that Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, whatever, are like the best among us, not just the best among Democrats or the best among Republicans, but the best among Americans, you have a very low bar of Americans. Democrats couldn't do any better, Paul says. They could absolutely do better. Just keeping it real. No offense to Kamala Harris if she's watching. I doubt she is. But yes, Democrats could have done better than Kamala Harris. This person here says, Gulf of America. I'm hoping that you aren't rooting for imperialism, are you? I thought you guys were the anti-war people, and now your boy is talking about invading other people. That's kind of shitty. The economic system is a mess. 100% agree. Jeff says, yeah, you guys around White House 12 of the 16 years, but everything here is Trump's fault. You know, I can actually criticize Democrats, too. I think, for example, Joe Biden's committing a genocide. That's bad. And Donald Trump has criticized Joe Biden for not supporting Israel's genocide enough. And, well, he wants to double down on the Biden-Israel policy. So, that's unfortunate. But I can criticize Democrats. This person says, Democrats, lol, for the working class. Yeah, significantly more than Donald Trump, I would say. Yeah, having a National Labor Relations Board that allows people to unionize and gets the corporate world in trouble for labor law violations, yeah, that's better than what the Republicans are going to do. Sports Bro is supporting genocide, of course. Paul says, this is a plan designed to bring on the New World Order. Paul, let me give you a recommendation, a genuine recommendation. Drop the schizo shit. There's no conspiracy. The conspiracies are all in front of you. We have legalized bribery in this country, and those that can give the most money get the most benefits, okay? We have oligarchs, and it's in your fucking face. It's not conspiracy bullshit. It's not conspiracy bullshit. We got to keep it in reality. I recommend it. You said New World Order. We're not having a New World Order, okay? Joe Blair says, Trump says he will use the military, the U.S. military. Doesn't that take a declaration of war? I would think it does, but, you know, maybe he's going to do some weird shit. I don't know what he wants to do. But I don't think he gives a fuck about any lives that would be lost in any of the military adventures he's proposing, whether it's in Greenland, Panama, fucking, I don't think he's going to invade Canada, but he's playing awfully loose with it. Joe Blair says they want to use glaciers to cool crypto farms. You know, I will say about crypto people, the crypto folks, they have significantly more influence in our politics in a very short period of time. And it's real scary, folks. It's real scary. It's not good. If there was ever another market collapse of the crypto industry, you can bet they're going to get a fucking bailout. 2612B says, guys making valid points. Thank you, brother. Paul says, George Bush mentioned the New World Order before you were born, smart guy. Yes, the phrase New World Order exists, but it's clearly been, warped by conspiracy and all that shit. There's no conspiracy. Just look outside the window, and the conspiracies are clear. There is corruption. It's bad. We need to get the money out of politics. I would hope Republicans would support it. Unfortunately, they tend to love the oligarchs that are on their side, right? I would love to see some more criticism of Elon Musk. Not that he's not racist enough, but that he's a corrupt oligarch. That would be nice. Jeff says, there's no war under Donald Trump. Well, yeah, we were in 2 active wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He bombed Syria as well. He increased drone strikes 432%. He supported a genocide in Yemen. He bombed Somalia. Fuck are you talking about? No wars under Donald Trump. If you think that Donald Trump's a dove, you're foolish. This person says, it's actually true. A one-world government is forming. Nothing to do with conspiracy. Yeah, no, you're a conspiracy theorist and you sound schizophrenic. You sound insane. No, there's not going to be a one-world government. Look at the governments across the world. Look at the governments across the world. You think they get along? You think they're going to make one world government together? No. This person says, increased drone strikes 400%. Are you making these facts up? No, look it up. Look it up. Donald Trump, drone strikes, I think it's the specific number is 432%. Yep, U.S. drone strikes gone up 432%. And that was the first 2 years of his administration. He removed regulation, so we actually really didn't get to see the extent of his drone strikes, okay? Joshua asked an amazing question. How are rich people so talented at keeping poor people against each other? It's a real crazy fucking talent. I'm not gonna lie. Poor people, working people are wonderful, but we need to have a little bit more class consciousness. And we gotta realize who's screwing us instead of supporting and loving them. Oh my gosh, Donald Trump is my savior. That's idolatry, bro. You're a Christian. Stop that, right? I would hope you ain't into idolatry. Jeff here says, poor people are poor because of decisions they made in their life. We're all born the same. Jeff, if you think we're all born in the same situation, if you think we live in a real meritocracy, go fucking outside, okay? Go outside. Go meet some rich people, and you tell me if they're the fucking genius philosopher kings that they think they are. Okay? You tell me. You tell me. Paul says, Donald Trump didn't start any wars during his presidency. He just continued the wars that he promised he would end and supported genocides of other nations. Yeah, congratulations. It's a pretty fucking low bar. Joe says, Elon is below average intellect, tech investor. He's not smart. He's intertwined with too much info. Yeah. He worked his way in the investor world. That's the problem with the economy. The economy is almost, since the 80s, it's an investment economy. We're jerking off the investor class. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. Oh my gosh, we have to make this decision. More money for the stock owners, right? The 1% earn 50% of all the wealth gained in Wall Street. 50% of all the gains goes to the top 1%. It's embarrassing. Paul here says, and what did Biden do? And SportsBro24 says, you think Kamala would have done better? Well, honestly, yes, Kamala and Biden would be better. But stop looking at this from a partisan lens. Stop being like, what about your team? What about my team? This ain't fucking sports. This ain't fucking sports. This is real shit. Okay? I can criticize my side. Biden was supporting Israel's genocide. That's disgusting. If there is a heaven and hell, I don't know if he's going to be going to heaven. Okay? That's a pretty scathing critique. But I never see Republicans offering that same level of critique for Donald Trump. User 1047 says, is this the guy that got roasted by Charlie Kirk? I didn't debate Charlie Kirk. This person here, Tristan, says, if you consider the fact that it takes real genius and a really special kind of entrepreneur that have a kind of wealth that puts you in the top 1%. So you just think that everybody that's in the 1% is a fucking genius. And someone like you, Tristan, who's definitely not in the 1%, you're just a fucking dumbass. Well, I can't argue with you about what you are, but I've met the 1%. I've met rich people. I can assure you, they're not geniuses. They're not geniuses at all. A lot of them were just in the right situation at the right time. Stop praying to the billionaire class, okay? People, this guy's got all the answers. I'm waiting to hear his plans. Wait, you want my plans? Get the money out of politics. We're going to need to do a constitutional amendment to do that. That's going to be tougher. Of course, there are many things in between that we can do to improve people's lives. Go to your local city council and push for medical debt relief by working with the nonprofit organization Undo Medical Debt. You can help a lot of people in your own city, right? When it comes to policy prescriptions on healthcare, we need single-payer healthcare. Fuck the insurance companies. We need to expand education because college and trade schools are specialized educations. We need to make that shit free. It would cost like $40 to $60 billion. Not a lot when it comes to what we spend in our military or we spend in the federal government, but you will make a lot in the long run because you're helping a lot of people get an education and get jobs that'll make them a hell of a lot more money than working in the service economy. Is there more specifics you want to ask for the solutions if you want solutions? Tell me the specific question. BB says, this the kind of guy carrying too much anger. BB, I'm actually a very happy person. You guys voted for a guy that's entire premise is anger. Your solution is to spend $60 billion? What? We can spend. Donald Trump's going to increase the military budget like $100 billion every single fucking year. Yeah, let's put $60 billion into our own fucking people. I do believe in investing in America, right? You have to put money in to get money out. We used to have a country that invested in America. If you don't believe in investing in America, I don't know what to tell you. Bren, yeah, that's the same video. That's the same video. I'm a fucking athlete. Tristan says, well, we're not spending money on military. Other countries will just have to team up with us. That's why we need Greenland and Canada. So you support imperialism. You're an imperialist. You're a dumbass. Tristan says, is that a bad thing to be the best? Like us not spending money on our military? Okay, Tristan, I'm assuming you're a fucking child or something. We spend more than the top 10 countries, the top 10 militaries combined. We could be number one. You know, maybe we could spend more than the top 5 countries combined. Okay, jet lag here says imperialism is base. This is MAGA, folks. This is MAGA. You guys love war. I was told endlessly, that MAGA is a populist movement, an anti-war movement, that Donald Trump's going to bring peace. He's not even in the fucking White House. He's going to be inaugurated soon, and all he's talking about is war. Tristan says, because we have the most advanced and largest military in the world, we have the number 1 air force in the world, we have and with the second largest air force in the world needs to be maintained. And the second largest? The number 1 largest air force and the second largest air force? What are you saying? You're kind of contradicting yourself there. Yeah, it needs to be maintained and paid for, but we could save money, right? If other countries can handle themselves, you know, maybe we can spend more than the top 5 countries combined. I'm not saying we lose our number 1 position. But you really think the military needs another $100 billion? $100 billion? $100 billion? Just keep giving the money to the military, but you will never, ever, ever see MAGA saying, let's support the American people. Let's support the American people. Is that a radical statement? Someone tell me. Let's invest in America. I thought you guys were America first. This person says, look at this. We are being invaded. What? Am I invading? I was born here. You pricks, you look at America, you think it's just white people. It's not white people. It's white people, it's black people, it's Hispanics, it's Asians, it's all kinds of people. That's what makes America special. But, of course, you guys will get mad if you're called racist. This person says, go back to Mexico. Guys, this is MAGA. I'm told Democrats are the real racists. I'm speaking with a completely American accent, and you got this middle-aged man, Logan, here. Middle-aged. I don't want to be too mean to you, Logan. And you're saying, go back to Mexico. Tristan says, what bro investing in the military is investing in our safety? Tristan, I don't know if you're fucking dumb here. Respectfully, I don't know if you're dumb here. I said if we have more money being spent than the top 5 militaries combined, instead of maybe the top 10 militaries combined, we would still be number 1. Okay? 773 area code. What's on your mind?
Hi. I came across your channel like a week ago, and I'm actually like interested in talking to you.
Yeah, what's up?
No, just in general, like about Trump's presidency. I'm in the middle of it. So, but I'm like leaning more into Trump. So
Yeah.
I just want to know how can you change my mind?
Well, what are your priorities? You into like fiscal responsibility, wanting the government to save money?
Well, my priorities are more I'm a Christian, of course, and it seems like he's more of a religious side.
Well, I don't think that Donald Trump's religious whatsoever. But I will say, if you are a Christian,
in what way do you not believe he's not religious? Can you give
during
an example?
during his presidency, he supported a genocide in Yemen. I'm sure you're aware of what's been going on in Yemen.
And Yemen, no, I'm not. I don't really care about what's happening outside of America.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that you might not care about it. Wait, respectfully, hold on. No, I'm not finished yet,
man.
All right?
Can you let me speak?
No.
I'm not finished talking.
I didn't finish speaking. But
I wasn't done with what I was speaking.
Yeah.
So please respect what I'm saying.
No.
Wait.
Are you gonna let me finish my point, or are you gonna want to go off?
Well, I haven't even finished my point. So how can you start?
So you don't care about other countries, and that's okay. But do you care when we give weapons to other countries to kill other people, to do a genocide? You think that's concerning?
Okay. Wait. I'll answer your question after I'm done asking my question. You ready?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm ready.
It's what I'm saying is I'm not interested in other countries because I'm worried more about America. Are you worried about America? Yes or no?
I'm absolutely worried about America, and that's why I don't want Americans' money going to support genocide. Right?
So you
do you want Americans dying in war?
Who?
Do you want Americans dying in war?
No.
Good. Hold on, I'm going to put someone on hold real quick. I'm going to come to you afterwards. Stay on hold. All right, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't want Americans dying in war, and I don't want American money being used to support genocide, right?
What genocide are you speaking of? Because
the slaughter in Yemen.
Wait, can I just finish a little bit?
You asked me a question there, so I answered your question.
Oh, no, wait. Excuse me. You seem to jump right away before I even finish talking.
Yeah, well, you asked me a question, so I answered
it. Excuse me. How old are you?
Does that matter? I'm 23. I answered your question.
Okay, no. I'm saying you're 23, so you're old enough to know better when somebody already finished the question, but I'm not even finished.
I heard your question. So you asked me...
What is my question? What is my question?
Repeat it. Go ahead.
Exactly. What is my question?
You asked me something about genocide. What is genocide?
No.
What genocide? Which genocide? Happening in Yemen. Have you been paying attention?
That you don't even. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. That you don't even.
Okay, go ahead. Go ask the question. Go ask the question.
Exactly. Why are you acting like a woman where you don't let someone else finish?
Go ask the question, ma'am. Go ask the question. You're a woman. You're shit talking yourself. Go ask the question.
Okay, then respect a woman to answer the question.
Go ask the question. You just disrespected women too, buddy. All right? Go ask the question.
How did I disrespect women?
Go ask the fucking question.
Oh, such a manly man.
Ask the question. You support genocide.
Well, let me answer instead of speaking over me, right?
Ask the question. Go ahead.
You're being such a
ask the question.
Now.
I very much am, all right? So go ask the question. Are you going to cry about identity politics, or are you going to ask your question?
Are you going to cry
There's somebody waiting, so do you have a question or not?
Yes, I have a question.
Ask your question.
Do you believe in morality?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what do you think about abortion?
So you just switched the issue. I think that killing people is
wait,
worse.
I'm asking you a question.
I think killing people. You just ran away from the whole conversation about genocide and your guy supporting genocide. No, you ran away. Ma'am, you ran away from the conversation. Your guy supports genocide, and you want to jump to a different issue because you don't want to defend the genocide.
Specifically, you said about genocide. Is an abortion genocide? Yes or no?
No, I disagree.
Yes or no?
I disagree.
How do you disagree?
Yeah, I don't think that the things being aborted, the fetuses, are alive. But you know what is alive? The people in Yemen, right?
Oh, so you don't care about the Black Americans that are being aborted? 70%.
Yeah, I don't do identity politics. I don't do identity politics. So your guy is dropping bombs on people's heads that are living right now.
I don't care about other people's.
Okay, so you support genocide. Just be clear. You want to cry about abortion, but you support real life people getting blown up.
Hey guys,
you're a completely immoral, vacuous individual. You're a completely immoral and vacuous individual. You're a completely immoral person. You have no brain. You have no brain.
And you do? Trust me, you don't.
You support people getting blown up, and you want to switch to a different issue because you can't defend your guy supporting genocide. It's unfortunate. How about we just agree that killing people are bad?
I respect genocide in the United States that they're killing
You respect genocide? That's a bizarre way to say it. Again, we could have a more nuanced discussion about abortion, but you ran away from the actual issue of war and peace and what I consider more of a moral travesty, which is dropping bombs on living people's heads, and you ran away from the issue. So why are you running away from the issue? Why are you running away from the issue?
I'm not. So
you absolutely are. You absolutely are. You went from real shit. You dropped from bombs being bombs
yes or no?
being dropped on people's heads. Pretty bad, right?
Where are the bombs being dropped on people's heads? Is it outside the United States? Yes or no?
So you're okay with foreigners being blown up?
No, wait. You haven't even asked the question. Answer the question. Is it outside the United States? Yes or no?
Yeah, so you're okay with American drums being bombed on people's heads when they're outside the United States. You're fine with America bombing people when they're foreigners, and that's disgusting. And you wanna rant about morality? It's pathetic.
You wanna rant about morality? What do you think about abortion?
Yeah, you're running away from the fact that you just literally supported living people getting blown up outside the country. It's pathetic.
Wait.
It's pathetic.
Okay. You're pathetic for the fact.
You're absolutely pathetic. You're crying about morality and you're supporting people getting bombed. Okay? It's disgusting. Okay. So I'm just curious. No, you're running away. You're running away from living people being blown up. I am speaking over a woman.
You're a sexist. You are a sexist.
Am I?
Shame on you for being a sexist.
Am I?
Shame on you for being a sexist.
Am I a sexist?
For being a sexist.
Because I don't like kids getting bombed? I don't like people getting bombed? I don't like people getting bombed. That's sexist?
Shame on you. Okay, do you support women, yes or no?
Yeah, when women get bombed, that's horrible,
what do you think about abortion?
Yeah, I am so upset when I see a woman getting bombed. I'm so upset when I see kids having cholera in fucking... Yeah. I think it's more pressing. I think it's much more pressing. I think it's much more pressing. I think it's much more pressing. I think it's a much more pressing issue. Yeah. So you came in here and you asked me why I think that Donald Trump. Excuse me. Yeah. Stop crying. Stop crying. Stop crying. No. You're not. This ain't your fucking stream. This ain't your fucking stream. This ain't your fucking stream. Okay.
Excuse me.
Do you understand that? Do you understand that, ma'am?
Oh, completely. Nathan.
Okay, yeah, so you came in. What did you ask me when you came in?
Okay, let me ask you right now.
What did you ask me when you came in?
Nathan, can you answer my question? Do you respect America's problems, yes or no?
That's not the question you asked me when you came in.
No, I'm not asking you right now.
That's not the question you came in. What did you ask when you came in?
Do you respect America's people's problems?
That's not what you asked when you came in. I don't know if you don't remember. You asked me. You are. That's your words.
Okay,
You
yes,
asked me.
exactly.
You
I'm
asked
Mexican
me.
and brown, so yes, I'm dumb.
You're doing identity politics. I know you guys love it. But
No, I know
you
you
came
love it.
in, you came in and you asked me, why is Trump not a good Christian, I guess? Because I said, you brought
Okay,
up
yes,
Christianity, and I said that he's allowing genocide and supporting genocide and funding genocide. I
okay.
personally, when it comes to morality, I don't care if you're American, I don't care if you're Mexican, I don't care if you're Iraqi or from Yemen, Israeli or Palestinian. If there's a bomb being dropped on your head, yes, I put a little bit more priority over living people than fetuses. Now, I understand passion for abortion. I do. I get it. It's a complex issue and it's a nuanced conversation. But unfortunately, you're using it to run away from the fact that your guy supports people getting blown up. And
Okay.
that's unfortunate.
So Nathan,
Have you
answer
ever
my
been
question
blown
again.
up?
Let me go back to that. Let me go
Do
back
you
to
do you
that.
ever
Nathan,
want
answer
to
my question.
address the fact that you're supporting kids getting bombed?
Oh, I respect you to the point that I do not support abortion. So let me ask
So
you
okay,
this.
you're running away
No,
again. You're running
wait.
away.
Let me ask you this.
So
Let
can
me
you
ask you this.
focus? Are you physically capable of focusing on the issue that was brought up before you started running towards abortion? Donald Trump is selling weapons to Saudi Arabia so that they can do their fucking war in Yemen. If you don't want to call it genocide, I call it a genocide, where kids are getting blown to fucking smithereens, where there was a cholera outbreak. Do you like cholera? Have you ever had cholera?
Nathan. Oh, okay, Nathan. You care about genocide with children, yes or no?
Yeah, and you want to make it about abortion.
No,
Everybody
wait,
sees
wait,
what
wait,
you're
wait, wait,
doing.
wait.
Abortion,
No,
abortion,
wait,
abortion. You're gonna cry about abortion. Are you gonna cry about abortion? Let me guess. You're gonna bring up abortion. Next sentence.
Oh, so you're going to fight about genocide with children in Yemen? Yes or no?
Yes, living children.
Oh,
Living
thank
children.
you.
People
This
that are
is
alive.
how difficult you are.
People
This
that
is
are
how
alive.
difficult you are.
People
And
that are
you're talking
alive
about all
right
these
now.
children in different countries,
Hold on, I'm
but
gonna
you don't
put
care
someone
about
on
the
hold
children
real
that are
quick.
dying every...
I'm gonna put you on hold. Stay in the queue, okay? Right, you were saying though. Yeah, I actually do prioritize people that are alive over fetuses. Now, we can have a nuanced conversation about what is personhood or whatever, but unfortunately, we can only have that conversation when we stay focused on the topic at hand. You asked me why Trump's not a good Christian. It's because he's killing people and allowing people to die outside this country, which apparently you don't care about. And the reason he's doing it is because he takes money from Saudi Arabia, okay? It's because he's corrupt. Do you think that Donald Trump is corrupt? Do you think it's... No, I don't respect you.
Enjoy your content. Just for the fact that you take calls, I respect you. Honestly, I do. Like, just for the fact, like, not a lot of people do that. And I respect you for that, because it's just for the fact that it's hard to look for content where you're like, where other people can disagree, to agree or disagree, whatever. Just for the fact of that, I respect you. Not like respect you in the content of like your morality or anything, just for the fact that, man, I could actually call in and speak to somebody else that has like different opinions. Man, I enjoy that.
Of course.
So therefore, you found a new subscriber, whether we disagree or not. I'm gonna call every day because I enjoy your content.
All right. So are we gonna address the point at hand that Donald Trump is supporting a genocide because he receives billions of dollars from Saudi Arabia?
So furthermore, are you a Christian?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Do you support abortion? Yes or no?
I don't particularly care.
No. It's a yes or no question. There's no in between. It's not a gray area. It's either you support.
I think it's a complex issue that needs nuance and compromise between two sides that are very passionate about it. Roe v. Wade was the compromise. It allows for limitations for like third trimester abortions, for instance, depending on the state, except for cases of rape and incest. I think that that's fair. I think that that's nuanced. Yeah.
Okay, so you support abortion in Yemen? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
So how
I think people that are no, hold on, I didn't finish. I think people that are being raped should probably have the right to get an abortion. Yeah.
So if your wife, do you have a wife?
No, I don't have a wife.
A girlfriend?
Not at the moment.
A husband?
If I raped my wife, she should have the right to get an abortion.
Okay, do you have a husband?
I do not have a husband.
You're not gay, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll jerk off to a man if he's pretty enough. Listen, if someone's raped, if someone's
you're
raped,
bisexual, then automatically
some-
makes you gay, right?
if someone's raped, I think that they should be able to get an abortion.
Okay. So then, if your girlfriend gets pregnant, right?
By who? Me? So I raped her?
No, wait. Because then again, you said that you were interested in men. So I don't know. You're probably gay, right? Yes or no?
I disagree with that. But
Are you bisexual?
let's focus on the specific
wait.
topic
Are
at
you
hand.
bisexual?
I
Are
think
you
women that are
bisexual?
being raped should be able to get an abortion. Do you believe that a woman is being raped?
Women are being raped.
So women that are raped should be forced to go through pregnancy.
Wait, I'm not done with my answer. Women who are raped should still go through the process of having a child, because by the end of the day, if they're aborted, they're still gonna have that trauma. So why would a child be
I think I saw like a poll that showed that most women are either neutral or feeling positive after an abortion. I can't speak for all women, but that's what the research showed. I think a woman would be a lot more traumatized and really wouldn't be in the best position to be a good mother if they're carrying a rapist baby, especially when that rapist ideally would be in jail, right? I don't think a woman should be forced or given a responsibility by a rapist to carry a child just because they were raped, okay? So I answered your question. So let's go back to the questions you want to avoid. You're supporting a president who in his first term supported a genocide in Yemen. Do you know why he supported that genocide in Yemen?
Please explain.
He took $2 billion from Saudi Arabia. He took millions and millions and millions of dollars through his hotels. He took millions and millions of dollars through the Live Golf Tour. He takes millions and even billions if you include the Jared Kushner investment from Saudi Arabia. $2 billion, 2/5 of Trump's entire net worth, given to his son-in-law by a nation, a kingdom, a despot in Saudi Arabia. While they're committing a genocide in Yemen, surprise, surprise, he supports the genocide in Yemen. So I think that's much more objectionable from a Christian perspective. You know, murder of living people. We can agree or disagree the personhood of a fetus, but we can't agree or disagree about the personhood of living people. I think that that's disgusting.
Nathan, I think.
Do you think that's disgusting? Do you think that's disgusting?
Yes, I think the killing of children is disgusting. Do you think the killing of an unborn child is disgusting? Yes or no? Wait, answer my question.
I don't
yes
consider
quote.
I don't consider. We don't have an agreement. We don't have an agreement. We don't have an agreement. We don't have an agreement on what? Hey, bitch, slow down. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. Why aren't you letting me answer your question? Why aren't you letting me answer your question? Why aren't you letting me answer your question? Go ahead and let me answer your question. Go ahead and let me answer your question. We disagree on what a person is. I don't care about a fetus. Okay? I don't. I especially think
he doesn't care about a fetus. He doesn't care about your unborn child that he wanted to kill.
I care a lot more about people that are alive. Is that a radical position? 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 Is that a radical position to say that people that can breathe and walk and speak and think? You support genocide and you're a dumb motherfucker. Do you understand that?
Oh,
you're not just dumb. You're not just dumb. You're also fucking vile supporting genocide. I don't really think there's much of a conversation for us to have. So have fun with your genocide supporting president. And you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry identity politics. Keep crying identity politics. You're a fucking hypocrite. Identity politics. Identity politics. Oh my gosh, you're disrespecting women. Am I disrespecting women? Am I sexist? Am I sexist? Am I sexist? And you wanna kill every Yemenese person because abortion. Okay, it's pathetic. Have a good day. All right. Unknown, you're on. Unknown.
Hello?
Hello, what's on your mind?
Oh, I was just wondering, sorry, I'm hearing the show in the background.
Yeah, no problem, just turn down the stream.
Okay, 1 second. There we go, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, why are you saying Trump is going to hurt me?
Yeah, so when you look at his tax plan, it's going to raise taxes on 95% of earners, only cutting taxes for the top 5%. That's going to raise cost. His tariffs are across the board. No economist supports across the board tariffs. It's also inherently inflationary. Even if he just does it for Canada, Mexico, and China, 45% or so of all the trade coming in and out of this country, that's not good for regular consumers. The mass deportations are also massively inflationary, especially if he actually gets to do what most of MAGA wants, which is getting all the illegals out. That's 40% of the entire agriculture workforce. That's our food. It's getting rid of a lot of construction workers, too. Undocumented folks make up a good percentage of construction workers, and that's going to make even the process of constructing things like homes or, factories more expensive. And in a time where, say, we get the tariffs in, that's gonna require us to build more factories and build more homes, and that's gonna be a radically more expensive thing. So, if we're concerned about the wallet, your wallet, we should be concerned about a Trump presidency.
Okay, but QAnon has never said he's gonna hurt me, so. If QAnon hasn't said it, that makes it untrue. What you're saying.
Yeah.
Right? Or am I wrong?
I would disagree with that, but yeah.
Why would you disagree with that?
I don't particularly care about QAnon.
Why? Really? Well, why wouldn't you? Don't you want to know who he is?
Are you serious, or are you doing a little bit?
No, I'm serious. I'm serious because if it's so dangerous, why haven't they captured this guy or this person? Wouldn't that be priority number one with all the stuff that went on? Why haven't they found out who Q is?
Wait, are you actually being unironic, or?
I am. Can you answer that though?
The conspiracy isn't behind the shadows, okay? The conspiracy, quote unquote, is out in the open. Corruption is out in the open. We have an extremely corrupt campaign finance system, and people buy our politicians all the time, including but not limited to Donald Trump. All right, we don't need Q to tell us that. We can look at open secrets. We can see when Donald Trump takes $2 billion from the Saudis. Well, a lot more than that. Oh, wait, hold on. Someone's calling in. I'm gonna put them on hold for a moment. Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna go on hold on now stay in the queue, okay? Right, so when Donald Trump takes money from Saudi Arabia and then he does the bidding of the Saudis, it's not really a conspiracy. We can tell what's happening.
I guess so, but I think there's bigger fish to fry than the Saudis.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of fish to fry. But that's just an obvious case of corruption.
I'm asking why haven't they unmasked QAnon?
Likely because it's being posted on 4chan anonymously. It's likely multiple people just making random ass posts, and yeah, you're not gonna capture one guy.
With all the so-called destruction and chaos they call it, why wouldn't they try to unmask who did it if it wasn't?
I don't really think QAnon is causing much things besides certain individuals' sort of schizophrenic delusions. But other than that, I don't think it's much relevance when it comes to politics at all. I'm much more focused on actual policy that actually affects people. And again, if you want to see a conspiracy, I encourage you to go look at Open Secrets, and you can see all the big donors giving to all the different politicians. And unsurprisingly, much of their votes are aligned. I voted for Kamala Harris in this election, if you're curious, and she took a lot of money, and that's unfortunate. I want all the big money out, and I will call it corruption when Kamala Harris takes money from the big money donors.
So you vote for corruption?
I vote for better policy. I looked at their policies. I liked what she had to say over what Donald Trump had to say.
Well, what good is policy if someone's corrupt?
I mean, a National Labor Relations Board that lets people unionize. It's pretty good. Lena Khan at the FTC
Unions
breaking up. Oh, so you're anti-union. Okay. Lena Khan at the FTC preventing mergers of major tech companies. It's a good thing. And preventing monopoly in general. That's a good thing.
I
And
guess,
she was,
depending on
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
hopefully we can get all the big money out of politics.
no, I don't really. If money's going to who I like, then I'm fine with it.
So you're fine with money in politics?
Yeah, I mean, it got
So
Trump elected.
you're like a QAnon conspiracy theorist, but like you are down with the billionaire class buying
But
politicians?
it's the base billionaire class. It's Peter Thiel, Elon Musk.
Okay, based on that, I think you are doing a bit. So I'm gonna let you go. All right. I think that was the base
was that
billionaire
good?
class, the Peter Thiel, Elon Musk. I think you are literally just like either a lefty or decent lib just playing QAnon, and I respect your effort. But I'm gonna move on now. All right.
No, I mean, I'm dead serious.
Have a good
Peter
day.
Thiel's, like, into the
773 area code. What's on your mind? 773 area code. You are on. 773.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello?
I told you you're my new best friend.
Oh, it's the same person. Are you actually going to want to have a conversation, or are we going to have to move on to the next caller?
No, of course. I want to know
So let's focus on what we were talking then. Genocide in Yemen.
Listen. Wait.
$2 billion from Saudi Arabia.
Wait.
Do you think it's concerning when other countries are able to invest in the personal wallets of politicians?
Nathan, wait. My name is Crystal. I'm telling you that I'm gonna be calling moving forward. I'm gonna be calling like almost every day just for the fact
that's
like
cool.
I have somebody else to do.
You can do that, but I'm asking you a specific
No,
question. Hold on, I'm
We're
gonna
be
put
new
someone
best
on the
friends.
queue. I'm gonna put you in the queue for now and go to you after, alright? Right, hello?
Yes, I mean in a good way that we're gonna be new best friends. Like
Okay.
I
So when
like
Donald Trump are you gonna actually talk about anything of seriousness, or are you just gonna yap? Because I'm interested in talking about the corruption. When Donald Trump and his son-in-law took $2 billion from the Saudis, do you think that has any impact on policy?
No, if it's outside the country, I really don't care what's happening.
Oh, so you don't care when foreign countries give politicians and politicians' families money?
Oh, I did when what was Joe Biden's son doing?
Okay,
outside
so
the
you
country?
you care about Hunter Biden doing it, but you don't care when Jared Kushner's doing it.
No, I'm saying, do you care when Hunter Biden did it? Yes or no?
Yes, yeah, Hunter Biden should be in jail for the Burisma shit.
Okay. So
Yeah,
then,
so can you say that Jared Kushner should not be taking $2 billion from Saudi Arabia?
who?
Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law.
I really don't know anything about that.
Okay.
I just really care about what's
So
happening
if you
in the United
do
States.
care, if you're concerned with what Hunter Biden did with Burisma, if you're consistent, you should care about that as well. I say no big money in politics, no foreign money in politics. Are we in agreement there?
I believe so. I may not be like savvy about that, but just overall, where are you from? Like, what state are you from?
I'm from Florida, but I'm glad we can come to an agreement. You had your time earlier, but
Okay,
there's someone
Florida?
waiting in the queue, so I'm gonna let the person come in because they hadn't talked yet. Okay? Have a good day. 615 area code. What's on your mind? 615 area code. Okay, I'm gonna put this person in the queue. I'm gonna put you in the queue for now, and I'm gonna move on to this 615 area code. All right? Stay in line. 615 area code. What's on your mind?
I don't know, I just felt like calling.
What's up?
I just felt like calling.
You what?
Just felt like calling.
Okay. Do you have something to say?
No,
All right. Have a good day.
you too.
Unknown. You're on the line.
Oh.
Just felt like calling.
Unknown. You're online.
Me?
Yes. You.
Oh.
Unknown. You're online. Can you turn down the volume from the stream? Because I can hear myself echo.
Oh my god, I mean,
Yeah, okay, I guess that person got scared there. This person asked, can you elaborate what Kushner did? Kushner has an investment fund. The Saudis gave him money. In general, Trump has a lot of relations with the Saudis. A lot of money goes into his hotel. He had a deal for his golf courses with the Live Golf Tour, which again is Saudi money being funneled to him through his companies. It's just corruption. Politicians cannot take direct contributions from foreign nationals, and Donald Trump takes hundreds of millions, and his son-in-law took $2 billion. That's what I'm talking about with the Kushner and Saudi Arabia stuff. 386 area code. What's on your mind?
Hey, okay, so I've been watching for about a half a minute, and you think that Jared Kushner is corrupt with?
One moment, I'm gonna put someone in the queue real quick.
Okay.
254 area code. You are in the queue. Stay on hold for now. All right. All right, 386. I'm back.
Okay, thank you. So you think Jared Kushner is corrupt with
Yes.
the what was it? $2 billion you said from Saudi?
Yeah, $2 billion.
Money.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not quite seeing that, and the reason why I'm not seeing that is because when Trump came into office back in 2016 or 2017, however that works.
Yeah.
He was putting down some pretty hardcore, like throwing the foot down onto everybody around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came down to Israel,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, next thing we know, he put Jared Kushner in charge of doing what? What was it?
Israel
the
policy.
Arab Accord. The
Yeah.
Arab Accord.
You talking about the Abraham Accords?
Yeah, the Abraham Accord, yeah.
Yeah.
The Abraham Accord. And when he did that, next thing you know, you've got every single Middle Eastern country just kissing his ass, right?
Mm-hmm. I do disagree with that, but let me address that because
maybe not all of them. Okay, maybe not all of them, especially like Iran and stuff. I get that, okay.
Oh wait, hold on. Someone's calling in. I'm gonna go put them in the queue. You're gonna be in the queue for now, all right? All right. Sorry, you were saying?
Okay. So maybe not all of them, and I get that, but but I guarantee you that. I don't. I agree with you on some points. There's something about Jared Kushner that I just totally don't trust. I get that. I mean, just the guy himself. There's something about him I don't. Trust.
Look at his dad. Then you really know what kind of place Jared comes from.
I know. I've done my research on him too.
Yeah.
I have. And it was like, okay, and the building in New York with the address of 666 is like, what the fuck? Right? I mean, right?
To address some of your points, though, because I appreciate you coming in actually trying to talk about some serious shit. The Abraham Accords. I understand some people view it as like some sort of peace deal. It really wasn't.
No.
It's really, some sort of big deal.
No, it wasn't. That was a business deal.
Yeah, it was a business deal. For business. But the only countries involved in it were Israel.
We're going to do trade.
Yeah, it's like for trade. Yeah. It's like a trade deal, but it's specifically Israel, Bahrain, the UAE, Morocco, and Sudan. Now, what I was talking about earlier with the Saudi money and all that stuff, Saudis aren't involved in it, right? These are just like Bahrain is a tiny island. The UAE is essentially just a desert with Dubai. Morocco and Sudan are very far from Israel. The Saudis, on the other hand, what I was complaining about them is Donald Trump has taken, not just from Jared Kushner, but through his hotels, through the Live Golf Tour, and so on and so forth, hundreds of millions of dollars from Saudi Arabia.
Stop for just a second. Now, how long ago was all of it? I mean, we're talking that
was during his
a
presidency.
long time ago. That was long before he ever even considered.
No, that's not true. That was
trying
during
to
and
run.
that was during and after his presidency. The Live Golf Tour was not made before his presidency.
The Live? The Live. Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, the Live
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, the point.
That one came during his presidency.
The point is that Trump has a lot of connections with Saudi Arabia and money connections.
Well, shit. There's always money connections throughout
Yeah.
everyone. I mean, even
But look, I mean,
come
Jimmy.
on.
The thing is, Jimmy Carter. I
I
understand that there's a lot of corruption. I call it corruption on all the sides. But when you look at other presidents like Jimmy Carter,
Actually, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Because,
I call out the corruption on all sides.
Okay, you want to call it real corruption? Well, let's look at Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood. There's a lot of corruption.
Hollywood.
But I will say, I am
more corrupt than anything else in politics.
I have
And
much more.
politics is really bad.
No. Politics is the most corrupt place. But I will say, I do have a bit more priority for when the corruption was making it that Donald Trump, during his presidency, continued to sell weapons to Saudi Arabia, even when he was presented with a bill from Republicans and Democrats to stop the sale of arms to Saudi Arabia while they're committing a genocide in Yemen. What did he do to that bill?
Whoa. You think they're calling it a genocide in Yemen? For real?
Yeah.
I don't.
If you don't want to call the war in Yemen a genocide, you can call it a slaughter with a lot of civilians getting the brunt of it.
Okay. Hear me on this one. Okay, please hear me on this. My husband is former military. All right.
Yeah.
And he was on a ship that I will not name on here.
Yeah, no problem.
That was his former ship. That he wasn't stationed on there then. Okay, so I want that out there publicly.
Yeah.
That he was, he's been home with me for many years now.
Yeah.
But his former ship was stationed out there in that region.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first ones to shoot down. What were they? They were drones. First it was drones, and then it was rockets and all kinds of crap.
Was this recent, like after, like within the year or so?
Yes.
Yeah.
Within the
so I'm talking about before that, and what I'm talking about is not related to, like, say, like the Yemenese government's response to what Israel's doing, but I'm talking about the Yemeni civil war that started in 2014, and that in 2018, in 2018, Donald Trump was presented with a bill from Republicans and Democrats, passed the Senate, passed the House. Very hard to do that, but it was pretty much just to stop sending weapons, stop supplying the civil war, which is leading to millions dying, a cholera outbreak affecting millions. Stop supporting that. That's it. We're not saying we're going to intervene. We're not saying we're going to do anything with our troops. We're not going to do regime change in Saudi Arabia. We're just not going to give them the bombs. And we're not going to have that blood be on the hands of American taxpayers.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of his connections, he gave to Saudis everything they wanted.
I got a question. As a military wife, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you saying that this has, what you're saying clearly has something to do with American interference as far as money, correct?
Not so much our military there, but mainly our supplying of a side of this conflict.
Okay, very good. My next question then is, who's bombing who?
The Saudis bombing Yemen.
Yemen. And we are supplying Saudi for that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. I was not aware of that.
That's fine. I understand. It's not like the most known conflict.
I'm sure the majority of us out here are not aware of that. I will do more research onto your claim on that.
Yeah.
But I was not aware of that.
I recommend
if what you're saying is true, you're saying is true, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying if what you're saying is true, then I am in total disagreement with that because I do not and even my husband does not want any more death. Okay?
Yeah.
We don't want death.
Yeah.
I mean, he's seen war. He was over there. He saw war. And he does not want death. He wanted killing him. It's like no, we just don't want death at all.
100%.
When
I talk to veterans, they're the most anti-war people you can find.
Oh, I guarantee you, from my entire family, all the way back, I guarantee you. I can go all the way back to the 1700s, and I guarantee you I've got notes from all of them. They do not want death. None of them. They want life. And however they wrote it, in various ways that it was written, that every single one of them want life. So, yeah, it's that's kind of a big thing for me, is life.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we agree on that. And listen, I understand that, a lot of, like, the war in Yemen, the U.S. support of it is not something that's been in the headlines. It's not something that's been in the news, especially, I'm talking about stuff from Trump's first presidency. Of course, he's going to be president again, so you have to bring up his record when you're talking about what he's going to do. My concern when it comes to...
I understand that.
Yeah, my concern with his upcoming presidency is, for example, with Israel... my critique of Biden, he's pretty much let Israel do whatever they want.
In my opinion, as far as Israel goes, I would have to say that as far as Israel goes, we're going to have to go with well, shit. I mean, it looks like as though Netanyahu has got some kind of colon cancer or something going on, or something. And that's what I know his colon, but he's got something going on really bad, and so we got that to look at, as far as his health, and that's not good as a leader. So who would take over if he dies? So that's our next question. And then of course we have, how does Trump get along with, the prospective leader if Netanyahu dies, because we know him and Netanyahu have got a pretty decent relationship. And we know that Trump has got a pretty good relationship with really everybody, because he's just that guy.
I wouldn't say that.
He really, well, I wouldn't say that either entirely, only because he's pissed off a lot of people, and it's fantastic. I find it fantastic. I'm Gen X. So I find it fantastic and a total breath of fresh air. It's like, it's amazing to finally see this country get back to what it once was.
I do disagree with the notion that we're back to what made us great as a country. I mean, economically, and domestic, and on foreign policy, he governs like George W. Bush on steroids. This is the fourth term of George W. Bush.
Oh, no. Hold on, son. Hold on. No.
Yeah.
He's more like Reagan, Kennedy.
No, I disagree.
Reagan.
Reagan and
write this down. You really need to write this
down. I know the policies of Reagan and Kennedy.
He's not George W. Bush.
They're very opposed.
George W. Bush literally admitted that he was a C grade student. Seriously,
I have no respect for George W. Bush, but I have no respect for Reagan either.
I think that guy is garbage, for real. I always did. I didn't vote for him. I voted for Mickey Mouse. For real. I did not like him then. I don't like him now. I think the guy was junk.
Yeah.
So there again, now you're talking to Gen X. So when you talk to me, you're talking to someone who has actually lived this shit. And I can guarantee you, George W. Bush is junk. I'm seeing Trump as a combination of many people. He is more like Ronald Reagan, JFK, and Abraham Lincoln.
I really don't know about that comparison. If I may respond to that. Well, hold on. If I may respond to that. Number one,
right when I
understand what you said, and I see where you're comparing it. But I can, I can compare the policies. JFK wanted universal health care.
Right up the gate, you think you can?
Yes. John F. Kennedy wanted universal health care.
And you're Gen what again?
I'm Gen Z. It's really easy to research.
Oh,
John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy, ma'am. If we want to have a conversation about this, we can have a conversation. John F. Kennedy was from an era of politics that was dominated by the New Deal politics of Franklin D. Roosevelt and Keynesian economics. Ronald Reagan was one of the major forces that moved us away from that and towards trickle-down economics. We can literally see that in the economic statistics, and we can see that in the... No, I don't have Google open right now. If I had Google open right now, I wouldn't see an error with that, but this is stuff I've been knowing for a long time. We can look at the wages. Yeah, you can do the research from multiple sources. Google is just a search engine, not the source, right? So again, John F. Kennedy wanted universal health care.
Actually, my knowledge in actually history class is actually my source. But go ahead.
Okay, so John F. Kennedy advocated for universal health care, which in the modern context is a Bernie Sanders policy. John F. Kennedy had tax rates that, if you propose today, practically the establishment Democrats and the entire Republican Party would call you a fusion of Stalin and Mao Zedong, right? But that was the tax rates of this country when we had the greatest expansion of the middle class that we ever had, because we had New Deal Keynesian politics as our dominant force. Ronald Reagan was the one that transformed this economy from an industrial economy to an investment economy. Ronald Reagan was the one that played a massive role in shipping out all of our jobs overseas. We saw from... Real quick.
Okay.
We can look at the economic data from that period to today. For example, manufacturing jobs went down from that period until some point in the middle of the Obama, I don't know, first or second term, when we finally saw some reversal.
It was first term. I was there. I lived it. I was there. I lived it. It was
reversal of the
and you were there too, but you were young.
So yes, and it's not just the manufacturing jobs; it's also wages. Wages used to be tied with productivity. Yes. It used to be tied with the company's success. And when the company's success, when they made money, when the CEO made money, so did the regular workers. It was in the 1980s that we saw a shift in that, and productivity stayed the same while wages became stagnant.
That was Reagan.
Yes, that was Reagan
during the 80s.
Yeah.
Yes, that was okay. So give him some props right there, because he was doing the right thing.
No, that's not the right thing.
Because I also remember Carter, who God bless him. You know, Lord be with him.
But real quick. I just want to clarify though. But I just want to clarify though. With Reagan, that's when we saw the wages become stagnant. Productivity stayed in the same track.
Of course we did. Only because when Reagan was president, he ended up with a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate. So his hands were tied. Mm-hmm. You need to do your full research if you're going to just focus on a president.
Well, I understand that the Democrats held either the Senate or the House until the 90s, right? But we did see a massive... Democrats held either like the Senate or the House until the 90s, like from the New Deal to the 90s.
Yes,
so,
they did.
Yeah.
And they've continued to do nothing but destroy this country.
But it's not a partisan thing.
That's all they've done.
It's not a partisan thing.
That is all they've done.
You got to understand, we had a New Deal consensus in the entire Western world. Look up the era of the golden age, or the golden, what do they call it? The golden age of capitalism, the post-war economic.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, it's not right now, because wages are still stagnant. The middle class is still contracting.
That is not today. You're correct. That is not today. But I guarantee you, on January 20th, our golden age began.
Okay, so again, I want to emphasize this. We had the golden age of capitalism, the post-war economic miracle, when we were a Keynesian, New Deal-based society. At that point in time, there was... Yes, back in the day. At that point in time, we saw growth on all grounds. We saw the corporations doing well, the CEOs doing well, and the people doing well. It was in the 1980s. Again, we deindustrialized and focused on an investment economy. We saw the stock market do. We saw the stock market. We saw the stock market. Yeah, real quick.
Real quick. What year are you saying again?
This was about the 1980s. This was when we moved away.
1980 what? Yes, I will tell you 1980.
But Ronald Reagan became president in 1980. He won the 1980 election. So like that entire decade saw us moving away from Keynesianism and towards the investor economy. That's when we were losing the jobs until we're still in neoliberalism. We never left neoliberalism. Ronald Reagan's ideology moved us from Keynesianism, New Deal politics, to Reaganism, trickle down, neoliberalism, whatever you want to call it. And from that point, Reagan did so well that we had a Democrat, Bill Clinton, who went away from the Keynesianism and went towards a similar. Wait, hold on, real quick. Okay, you can be quick.
But Clinton also took all of Reagan's the surplus of money, which was a lot back then, and
we didn't have a surplus
as his own.
We didn't have a surplus during Reagan. We had a surplus during Clinton. Again, I don't particularly like Bill Clinton. Most of these people I do not like. Okay, my understanding of Reagan. My understanding of Reagan is he increased the deficit, and it was Bill Clinton that continued Reagan's legacy, though, of cutting, deregulating, doing neoliberalism, and doing deindustrialization. And eventually we did end up with a surplus at the expense of the workers' well-being, at the expense of their wages, at the expense of their union rights, and so on and so forth. We saw this continue under the Bushes. We saw this continue under Obama, Trump, and somewhat Biden. Biden did do some things that were like. Hold on. Wait.
You're millennial, right?
I'm sorry.
You're millennial. You are a millennial, correct?
I'm considered Gen Z, I believe.
Oh, Gen
Millennials
Z.
are a little older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a lot young. I'm 54 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna explain some things to you.
Okay.
When Obama took office, okay, when he took office, I actually voted against him because I could see the way that he was kind of dictating things just within his speeches about being some of the things he said. I was like, no, that is communism.
Obama is far from communism.
With all kinds of the healthcare.
Wait, that's really interesting, though. That's really interesting. So you believe that Obama was a communist because he did say the Affordable Health Care Act?
I know, sir.
So does that make John F. Kennedy a communist?
I know for a fact he is.
Does that make John F. Kennedy a communist?
No, absolutely not.
But how does that work?
Actually, a Democrat.
I know, but how does that work, though? Obama passed a bill.
Okay.
The affordable. Wait, real quick. Let me just explain the situation for the audience here. Obama passed a bill which maintained private health insurance, encouraged people to go get the private health insurance. It's flawed. It expanded Medicaid. We already had Medicaid as a pre-existing thing. Fundamentally, it did not change the means of production. It did not change ownership of healthcare in this country. It was still very much privately owned. What John F. Kennedy was proposing was the same thing that Franklin D. Roosevelt was proposing. It's the same thing that Bernie Sanders is proposing. Universal health care, period. Everybody covered. That's not what Obama did. Obama did a plan that was from the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank.
Okay, and I'm very glad you brought that up. No, actually, your progressivism in and of itself is communism.
Well, that's really not what communist means. Was Teddy Roosevelt a communist?
Just let me explain it. Okay. Progressivism is communism, and I can connect the dots for you here.
All right.
So, for instance, healthcare.
Yes.
You say that JFK did, said all that.
He supported universal health care. Yes.
I can actually go back further.
Yeah.
I can go back to, let's go a little back further.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to FDR.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay. FDR was the one who came up with welfare for the women.
A social safety net, yeah.
No. Don't talk over me. This is real fact. FDR was the one who came up with welfare for women who were widowed because of World War II. That's how this whole thing came up. And that was supposed to be it. That was supposed to be it. Next thing we know,
wait, you think that was what? Do you think that was what FDR, like the extent of what he wanted to do?
No. Oh no.
He wanted to do a lot more.
Remember, FDR was voted in 3 times.
He was
the
wonderful.
last president to be voted in 3 times. Okay. After that, then they made the conditions that we can only have 2 terms.
Yep. He was so good that they wanted to prevent somebody like that.
FDR was the last one. FDR was the last one. And he voted in. He brought in welfare for the widows and the children, which absolutely makes sense. World War II, completely. I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
And then he brought in the progressivism came in and said, "Oh no, we need more. We need more. We need more."
Well, he was doing progressivism far before World War II, though. The entire New Deal,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. I mean, we can go pretty far back into progressivism. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt in the Teddy Roosevelt in the beginning of the 20th century was also advocating for universal health care. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, not just universal health care. No. It goes beyond that. We're talking.
But I can assure you that Teddy and Franklin were no Marxist. Okay. They were two they were
Marxist. I don't think that they were Marxist. I think that they genuinely thought at the time that they were doing the right thing for the people. That's what I think that they thought that they were doing. I mean, genuinely in their hearts, I think that that's what they were thinking. But even JFK, I do believe that. However, what it genuinely is not right for anyone.
No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
Country. I don't. I don't. I do. Because my husband has VA for his health care. I currently have no health care.
Yeah.
For my own choosing. And I guarantee you, what I'm dealing with the frickin' VA, which is, quote, government health care. Yeah. My ass. Trust me, you don't want this. No one.
Well, no, I think the VA has its problems, no doubt. It could be more funded and so on and so forth. But the private insurance is significantly is a very big problem as well.
No one wants the government to take over their health.
I would much prefer the government to be in charge of healthcare. I would much prefer the government being in charge of healthcare over United.
I'd rather pay for it out of my own pocket.
I disagree with that.
Out of the goddamn government fucking take it, fucking do anything.
So this is the thing, man. There are continuous horror stories about how healthcare is run in this country, specifically the private healthcare, Medicare for all specifically. would save about $2 trillion, I think, according to a libertarian study. So they were against Medicare for all.
I don't care how
It would
much
save
money
$2 trillion. It would save 68,000 lives. Because 68,000, hold on. 68,000 people die every single year because of lack of health insurance. This is a tale as old as time in America.
Gen Z.
You don't have to make this about age,
property.
ma'am. You don't have to make this about age, ma'am.
No.
You need to let me
serious.
talk on my own stream.
You
need to let me talk on my own stream, ma'am. You need to let me talk on my own stream. I gave you a good amount of time to speak. Let me explain to you.
You want to make it about money?
Yes,
not about
money. It is about money too, and it is about health because there's 68,000 people that die every single year because of lack of health insurance. So it is about health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
68,000 people in our own system.
You do not want to make this about money.
It's about health too.
People.
68,000 people die every single year because of lack of health insurance in the United States of America. It's simple as that.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And that's where you and I agree. Because it is about the lack of it. But okay, back in the Obama days.
Yes.
When you were a kid, I'm going to tell you something real quick. That my biggest thing about the whole thing. And I was being really vocal about the whole thing about what that guy was saying. I said no.
The neoliberal capitalist Obama.
Well, no, it wasn't even about that at the time because I didn't even know about any of that. I was so apolitical back then. You wouldn't even believe me. It was so bad. I didn't know nothing about politics back then. But what I did know was about my kids and my health care and their health care. I did know that because I know my girls, and I did not want nothing bad to happen with them. And all of a sudden, my company that I worked for, they were doing this weird stuff with my health insurance. I was like, no, I can't afford this. And it got really bad.
Yeah.
And what I know about Obamacare, or whatever they want to call it, I don't care what they call it. Whatever. I know it is Obamacare. The answer is a hard no.
Well, there's aspects I disagree with about Obamacare, specifically the ones that encourage you to get private insurance. Well, hold on. You've been going on for a while. I understand, but you've been going on for a while. In a conversation, you have to let both sides speak. I let you speak for a good amount of time. Obamacare's main flaws are its connections with private insurance. The best aspects of Obamacare are, for example, Medicaid expansion, giving health care to millions upon millions upon millions of people. Right? But we need to go beyond. We need to go beyond Obamacare.
Is that I agree, and in my opinion, back then it had nothing to do with the actual insurance companies. What it had to do with was the hospitals and the doctors themselves. I figured what I wanted back then was regulations on them. Because if we would have put more regulations on them, then none of this crap would have happened. However, ended up with insurance companies, so that tells me then that Obama and all the rest of the Democrats were in bed with the insurance companies.
Well, the Republicans are absolutely in bed with the insurance companies as well. Donald Trump, under his presidency, I believe 2 or 3 million people lost their health insurance. He promised in the campaign trail that nobody would die because of lack of health care during his administration. Of course, that's not true. Of course, that would require universal health care, but he didn't do that. I just happen to agree with John F. Kennedy and Franklin Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, when it comes to their position on health care. JFK actually had a good amount of things to say about it. In his own words, he said, and what they do in England. Yes, Teddy Roosevelt supported universal health care.
I thought you were going to say Franklin, because Teddy
Teddy and Franklin.
Okay, Teddy and... Now all of a sudden Teddy and Franklin. Do you know which Roosevelt you're talking about?
I understand which Roosevelt I'm talking about.
Although they were cousins, they were very different people.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt was a Republican, but in a time where the Republicans were the left in this country. You got to remember, this is post-Civil War. This was the abolitionists, the people of color, the Unionists.
Oh, I know.
They were Republicans.
I know my history. So
Teddy was literally one of the guys that ushered in the progressive era, and he advocated for universal health care all the way back then.
No, I'm not quite sure of Teddy, but I do know Franklin did that.
Mm-hmm. And
Kennedy.
That
may have been a family thing too. You know.
Yeah, and that was that used to be sort of the.
Probably not totally on board with that.
Well, he was one of the more progressive people in that era. So, I mean, if Teddy Roosevelt looked at our options and saw Donald Trump, like let's go back to 2016, all right? Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and Bernie Sanders. Teddy Roosevelt would go with Bernie Sanders. That's a fact. Well, not necessarily a fact, but a very backed up opinion of mine.
And also, you're right. And let's go back to 2016 because even Trump said that he felt that Bernie wasn't treated properly. And
I don't think that Bernie was treated properly. It's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons that
I think he was treated like total garbage on that. And actually.
The way Bernie was treated. The way Bernie was treated is a great example that, I always hear the liberal media, the left-wing media. The media is not left-wing at all. Look at the way CNN and MSNBC treated Bernie Sanders, an actual person on the left.
Oh,
and of course, the media.
They're fully left-leaning.
Oh, absolutely not. Again, how did they treat Bernie Sanders?
Actually, I haven't had. To be honest with you, I haven't had actual television since 2018 after the lava flow in Hawaii.
No problem. But no problem.
That's where we. I haven't. But I do watch a lot of stuff on YouTube and stuff. So that's where I get my news.
But YouTube has a lot of the same TV media
from
types.
The things I've seen, it's like no. I do believe Bernie was treated really badly. I mean, I seriously do believe that. I mean, I watched the debates, and I was like, damn. I was like, damn, that was wrong. Oh, I mean, I seriously thought.
Well, that's
I actually thought that Bernie Sanders should have won over Hillary Clinton.
Well, I wish that the Democratic voters would have voted that direction.
He had an actual argument.
Yeah. I definitely wish.
And I don't like Bernie Sanders.
I definitely wish the Democratic voters went a certain direction, right? But
they won't.
What I would say is it's one of the great indications of the media not being on the left is how they treat an actual person on the left. And Bernie Sanders is no radical. He's a basic, on policy, basic European social democrat. He's aligned with Franklin Roosevelt. He's aligned with Franklin Roosevelt. Absolutely. Franklin Roosevelt was an American president for 4 terms and did not implement what? Yes, ma'am.
Real quick. No, he's not. Do you know where he spent his honeymoon?
The Soviet Union. I don't think that's a real indication of any ideological or policy things.
Really?
Again, Frank.
Have you actually listened
Bernie,
to him?
I've listened to a lot of him. Bernie Sanders again.
Oh gosh, darling, no.
Yeah.
No,
so can you? What is your argument about Bernie Sanders?
He actually does believe in communism. Did you know?
Okay, real quick, ma'am. I just really want to know, since we talked a lot about socialism and communism and all this stuff. You accused Obama, who again is a neoliberal capitalist, not even close to JFK or Franklin Roosevelt. Can you please define socialism or communism?
I'm sorry. What was your question?
Can you please define socialism?
Socialism. Oh my gosh. You want socialism or do you want communism?
I mean, they're not that different.
Okay, socialism means that people stay within unions. Okay? You have and I'm just using a basic thing here. You have a group of people that all believe in one thing to say get their, and they go to a hierarchy in order to get their health care, their money, their whatever. Okay, that is socialism. Communism is when you have all of that then believe in hierarchy of, say, a leader that goes above that.
May I give you the definition?
Well, no, I'm just trying to give something basic to your listeners out there. You know, I know what it is. I'm just trying to give something basic to your listeners. But
well,
go ahead.
So socialism, the main thing to focus on socialism is collective ownership of the means of productions. To be socialist, you need to fundamentally change the means of productions. If you have private ownership of the means of productions, it is capitalism.
Which is something that has nothing to do with the constitutional republic.
When it comes to communism, right? Communism, you mentioned it's kind of interesting. You said so it's like socialism, but there's a hierarchy where there's a leader. So communism is not is the abolition of hierarchy. Communism is essentially a classless, moneyless society. It's not my ideal society. I'm going to tell you that. Okay? And socialism again is kind of a lesser version of that. Socialism requires collective ownership of the means of productions. So, I would say that if you maintain private ownership of the means of productions, which is what? Yes, Obama, Bernie, John F. Kennedy, Franklin Roosevelt. Can you tell me any of their policies? Can you tell me any of their policies?
You were alive during some of it, but I guarantee you none of that happened to us.
Yeah.
None of that happened to us.
So can you please?
I lost 3 jobs during Obama.
Okay.
Of his
can you
bullshit.
please tell me though, where Obama fundamentally changed the means of production, where he made it collectively owned and no longer private?
Oh, I can tell you where Clinton did that.
Clinton is even more right wing than Obama.
The Democratic Party is inherently evil.
I think that's really partisan. I think that's really partisan thinking. But can you please tell me like any Democrat that made it so that the ownership of the means of production is collectively owned? Since you're claiming that so much Democratic Party leaders are
Clinton.
like
easily hands down.
What did he do?
When he created the World what the hell?
World Economic Forum?
No, not WEF. No, that's a whole other.
Yeah, that's an NGO. That wasn't started by Clinton. Yeah.
Exactly. No, I'm talking about the other one. Where, what the fuck did he call that thing? It's like a world trade, the WTO. That was it. WTO.
Yeah, the World Trade Organization, super capitalist, super pro-business, super free trade organization.
The moment I was 19 years old when he did that, and I said, and even I looked at the TV and I looked at my mom and I said, "What?" And she had no clue back. I mean, my mom was not a political person. What's wrong with that? I said, no, I got big problems with this. Next thing you know, there was big problems in Seattle going on.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, I'm aware of that. Yep.
Well, no, I'm not talking about in your time, darling.
No, I know. Before my time. Before my time. Before
your time. Big problems in Seattle. I lived in Portland. So that's like not even a hop, skip, and a jump away from me. And I was like, and my brother lived up there, and I was like, oh damn. Things were bad then. Bad back then, because we knew that this was not a good thing. Okay, and we were right. We were right then, and we're right now. It's like, and no one seems to understand that.
I'm curious how the WTO is socialism when it's essentially an organization that tries to make more free trade, that tries to get rid of tariffs, quotas, and other restrictions, right? It's like the most capitalist organization you can probably find.
No, actually, the WTO, the WTO, horrible deal, horrible.
Okay.
The way that the way it was designed was to basically rape, and I'm using that word for real, the United States out of all of its money. Okay, we pay taxes. Okay, I've paid so much taxes in this country, and I know you do too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I don't want all of this money to go to some foreign country that maybe I'm not really crazy about how their products are being brought across. And back then, it wasn't China. Okay, I want to make that clear. It wasn't China. Now everything is to be made in China. Wherever you look, all of a sudden, oh, made in China, made in China. No, back then it was like made in Taiwan, made in North Korea, or South Korea, made in, wherever. It was always made in Japan. You can always find something else. And it was like, but very little things were being made in America.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but that was really started before the WTO,
hold on.
deindustrialization of the United States,
shush.
Outsourcing.
Child, shush. Now,
you don't need to tell me to shush on my own stream, ma'am. We can have a conversation as two equals, but you're telling an interesting history about the WTO. But again, the WTO literally just exists to increase trade and reduce trade barriers. I'm not a particular fan of free trade. So, but tell me how doing capitalism is making the ownership of the means of production collectively owned. How is the WTO changing the means of production?
Well, the WTO no longer exists, number one.
The WTO no longer exist?
No. Trump got rid of it.
It still exists.
Well, a form of it still exists.
Well, the WTO still exists, and we're still a part of it.
The next time you go shopping, and I'm not talking groceries. I'm talking you go shopping for clothes, or you go to Dollar General, or wherever you go.
Made in China products,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
now,
so more capitalism. That's a result of capitalism.
Why are we focused on making things here in America where our people can go to work, instead of being stoned and messed up on LA streets?
There were
you know what I mean?
800,000 new manufacturing jobs. Ma'am, you are not letting me talk. Ma'am, you are not letting me talk, okay? You need to let me talk if we're going to have a conversation, okay? So listen, there's 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in the United States under Biden, all right? There are historic high public and private investments into the construction of manufacturing, meaning factories. There was the CHIPS Act, which is trying to move production.
Under Biden, you said that there's 800,000 new construction
manufacturing jobs
specifically. Under Biden. Now, who's gotten those jobs? Who?
Are you gonna say it's the illegal immigrants?
No, I'm just gonna say who. Who?
I'm assuming Americans.
Who's gotten them?
I'm assuming people
you believe that they're American. I'm assuming people
that applied to work at a factory got the job.
You're assuming.
Who are you assuming? Who are you assuming is working in those factories? You're trying to make a claim that it is not Americans working in those factories. So who is working at those factories? Do you really think just wait? You know, this is interesting. This is actually really interesting, ma'am. This is really interesting because every single time I list a simple policy that is beneficial to regular people, under Biden, under Kamala, right, fine. Ma'am, you need to let me talk. 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 I've been very respectful to you. I've been very respectful. I've been very respectful, ma'am. I've been very respectful.
Can you prove that to me?
You need to let me talk. Okay?
Can you prove that to me?
You need to let me talk if you're going to ask me a question. So can you prove to me? Because you are making a claim in this. You are saying that everybody that got...
No, I'm not making a claim. You're making a claim.
Ma'am.
All I did was laugh. All you're doing is trying to make a claim.
Ma'am, you need to let me talk, okay?
I've
seen MAGA claim, like you're doing right now, that essentially all these jobs are just being filled by illegal immigrants. I've seen MAGA claim that when Donald... Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
All I did was laugh.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. You are trying to avoid making an affirmative claim. Hold on. Hold on,
You're
ma'am.
assuming
Hold on, ma'am.
that these
Hold
are
on.
being
Hold
filled.
on. You need to
These,
let me
all,
talk.
all these jobs
This
are
is
being
you
filled
need
by
to let me
actual
talk.
American
You
people.
need to let
Can
me
you
talk.
prove that to me?
You need to
Can
let
you
me
prove
talk.
that to me?
You need to let me talk, okay?
You
Are you
can't
gonna
prove
let
that
me
to
talk?
me, can you?
So what you're doing right now is trying to both claim that it's not Americans, but you are trying to avoid the responsibility of making an affirmative claim. You're saying, I'm not making a claim, but can you prove that all these jobs are Americans? Even if, say, an illegal immigrant has a job in a factory, I can assure you that it's not exclusively illegal immigrants in those factories. Yes, Americans are also getting those jobs. But if you're illegal, you're likely working in a separate field, particularly, literally, the fields. 40% of agriculture workers are undocumented, right? The people that are applying to factories are likely the people that have experience in manufacturing, right? So, listen, if 40%, if 40%,
said right there.
What was racist, ma'am?
About how only well, let's just say illegal, whatever.
Yeah, undocumented people working in agriculture.
Yeah, okay.
Do you understand? I'm not saying they. I'm not saying they can only. I'm not saying they can only. I'm not saying they should only. But 40% of all agricultural workers are undocumented. If you are undocumented, say you came from the South, you're near the border, maybe you're in Arizona, New Mexico, California, or Texas. One of the dominant industries in those regions is agriculture. That's why 40% of all agriculture workers are undocumented. Okay? If you are, yes. Would you like a source on 40% of agriculture workers being undocumented?
I would love that.
All right, I got you. 40% undocumented agriculture workers. A profile on undocumented agriculture
because of feedback. So you
yeah,
want
no
to
problem.
Tell it to me or whatever.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you just tell them here or text it to me or whatever?
Yeah, I can tell you what the source is. Yeah, in 2022, 42% of crop workers in the United States were undocumented. 40 to 42%. Okay. And that is specifically from the USDA ERS. This is a government organization. This is just collection of data. This is the Economic Research Service for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Yeah. So my point is this. I want to bring back manufacturing. That's actually a priority. That's one of the reasons why I did vote for Kamala Harris, because if she literally just did nothing but continued the Biden policy on manufacturing, we would continue to see historic high public and private investments into the construction of these new factories, the likes of which we haven't seen since World War II. I think that's a good thing. I think MAGA can agree on that. I think Democrats can agree on that. That's a good thing to build in America. I think and that's one of the things that I give Biden credit for. I don't give him credit for everything because, again, I think he's committing a genocide in Gaza. Well, I mean, I think you should be less partisan.
You want to talk about Gaza?
Well, I'm specifically talking about manufacturing. Again, I think he's supporting a genocide in Gaza because he's giving Israel everything they want. But sticking to manufacturing. Sticking to manufacturing. Biden hates Israel.
I mean,
that's why he's giving them everything they want, right?
No, only because that's what the what Congress has been putting through.
So tell me an example. Tell me an example of Biden vetoing a aid package to Israel, and then Congress taking the bill back, doing a 2/3 override, and sending the weapons to Israel anyway. Can you give me an example of a Biden veto?
Well, no, I can't give you that.
Yeah, because Biden signed every single bill supporting Israel.
Okay, I know you're pissed off about that, but I'm going to tell you real quick that I really believe that the only reason why he did that, any of that for Israel, is because he knew an election was coming up. Seriously.
Can you tell me any point in Biden's life? Can you tell me any point in Biden's life where he ever contradicted Israel? In his entire life.
Well, the only thing I know about Biden, honestly, is that he's a plagiarist, and he just goes with the flow.
I understand.
He's
I
a
understand
liar,
you might
and
not
he-
like.
and
Listen,
he-
I understand
and
you
he-
might not like
no,
Biden
the
because of his
guy
political
himself is
party.
total garbage.
I get it. You don't like him,
And
but he
it has
agrees
nothing to
with
do
your
party. No,
Yeah.
no.
He agrees with
him
you,
as a
Joe.
human being.
He's aligned with
And
you.
him as a human being, the guy is junk.
Yes,
So,
but he aligns with you on this specific issue.
Everything I have seen from him is throughout all these years. Now remember, I'm older than you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I have seen from him is him just going with the flow, and whatever the flow brings him money or brings him success or brings him notoriety.
And he's never contradicted Israel in his entire life. You made the claim earlier that he hates Israel. You don't have an example of him hating Israel.
No, he genuinely does.
So give me one example of him contradicting the will of the Israeli government.
Oh, the government itself? Oh, he's never done that.
Okay.
No.
But he hates Israel.
But no, he doesn't like. Let me put it this way: he doesn't like people of color, any color. Okay, he is seriously a full-on racist. Full-on racist. He does not like anyone who is another color than him. He downgrades them. He belittles people. He is just a genuine, horrible human being. For real. I mean, just as a person himself, I do not like that man at all.
No, I'm not a fan of him either. I can give credit where credit's due, but I can also criticize when he's like literally giving Israel everything he wanted. You made a claim that he hates Israel. I see no proof of that.
He had no choice.
He does have a choice. He's the commander-in-chief, but he has never in his entire political career.
I understand where you're going with it. Again, I understand where you're going with it. But it was also an election year.
His entire political career,
he's
never contradicted Israel. His entire career.
Because he's had no choice.
His entire career, he had no choice in the matter.
That man actually gave a eulogy
for a racist guy. Horrible.
To Bird.
Yeah, and Reagan called African leaders monkeys with Richard Nixon, right? Like, a lot of our leaders are racist. I don't deny that, but I'm more interested in the policy, and Biden's policy on Israel. His entire life, it has been giving the Israelis everything they wanted. I completely disagree about the notion that he hates Israel. He loves them too much. Going back, though, to where I can give him credit.
I don't think he does.
That's why he gives them everything they want.
That guy loves nobody.
Yeah, I mean, he gives them everything he wants. I understand you don't like him. That's fine, but like I look at things from an objective level. Yeah, but I do think that his national labor relations board was good. I think his Israel policy is bad. I think that having Lena Khan in his cabinet is a good thing. You know Lena Khan?
Yeah, okay. If you want to go there.
She's great. I think the investment in manufacturing with the CHIPS Act is a good thing. I think actually having an infrastructure plan is a good thing. Those are like two topics particularly, and add the trade deals on that too, that I gave Trump credit for in 2016. His campaigning against the bad trade deals, his campaigning for an infrastructure plan, and his campaigning to bring the jobs back. I agree with that. The only issue is he didn't really do those things when he was president. When did Donald Trump pass his infrastructure bill?
Well, no, I'm not about infrastructure. I'm talking about you bring back jobs. You want to bring back jobs.
There was 200,000.
Then you
number one.
Infrastructure.
In his first 2 years, investments into construction, into manufacturing went down. 200,000 manufacturing jobs were lost by the end of his term. The trade war resulted in a bigger trade deficit for the United States. He didn't even lower the trade deficit.
Had nothing to do with that?
COVID had a thing to do with it, but in his first 2 years, there was no COVID, and the investments went down already. So the investments went down into manufacturing construction, meaning that's less jobs being made.
But you want to talk about construction? No, I'm talking about bringing back jobs.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
he
li-
did-
you
he
what
did-
you need
he
you
did-
need the-
he did bring
you
back-
need
he did bring
you
back
need the
a
factories.
lot of jobs out of foreign
He
countries.
didn't
that shouldn't
bring
have
back
been there in the first
he didn't bring
hence
back the jobs.
WTO.
I mean, if
Hence
it's
the
the most
WTO.
the most
The
basic
WTO
the most
never
basic
should have
way we
happened.
can the most basic way we can find if he brought back the jobs were the job numbers specifically in manufacturing throughout his administration. Again, when
He
you
was
bring
trying
down
to
and
destroy
when you
the
bring down
WTO.
when you bring down investments into construction, that means no factories are being built or less factories are being built. That means less jobs are being made. And by the end of his administration, 200,000 manufacturing jobs were lost. And his big thing was trade, 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 trade. He did a trade war. And the trade war, in his specific way of handling it, ended up with a
And our
bigger
prices
deficit
went
than
down.
when he... Again, you're jumping to a different topic. Also, prices didn't go down because he didn't cause deflation during his presidency. Deflation did not happen any single month of his presidency.
No, and I agree.
yeah.
I agree with you
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I agree with you there.
That's what would require prices to go down. But again, the big thing that he ran on was the trade deficit, and he failed completely because the trade deficit went up, as well as the regular deficit
And because
too.
of why? No, hang on. Because of why?
Because he did trade war.
No,
Mm-hmm.
you can't blame you can't blame a president. You do realize
You can't
we
blame a
have four
president for the
branches of
decisions he
government.
made. Yeah,
We
but
have
he
four
but he
branches
he
of
was
government.
running.
Yeah,
he was
no,
he
he
the
made
Republicans.
decisions.
The Republicans
He made
had control of
decisions
Congress for the
and-
first 2 years. He got to do whatever he wanted.
Hold on. And
Yeah.
who was in control of Congress? Oh,
The
let's see,
Republicans
we
in the
had-
first 2 years.
Oh, I know. You just want to say the word Republican. I get it.
But it's
I get
just
it.
objectively
But
true.
no, who was in control?
Are you gonna say
So
like
we
Mitch
had,
McDonald or whatever?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got that rhino piece of crap.
Mhm.
And then who else was in control of the House?
Who?
Do you remember?
Paul Ryan.
Come on. Huh?
Paul Ryan.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Another rhino, big rhino.
Again,
So,
Donald Trump got to do a lot of the
those-
policies he
those-
wanted.
No, and why do we call them rhinos?
You
Do-
think
do you
they're
know
not?
why?
You think they're not conservative enough? I assume.
No,
Or
no,
they're, rather,
no,
they're not
no,
loyal
no,
to
no,
Trump
no.
enough.
No.
Mhm.
It's called Republican in
Republican
name
in name only. I know they're not good enough.
And the
Yeah.
the reason why is because they don't understand the roots of actual republicanism.
Mhm.
The roots of actual republicanism is not about being loyal to Trump or loyal to whatever you're thinking. No. The real roots of actual republicanism means freedom, true freedom.
I don't think the
The-
Republicans.
the-
have good,
the-
I don't
the
think they've
real-
done a
the
good
real-
job
the
at
real freedom.
pushing freedom.
What's that?
I don't think Republicans have done a good job at pushing freedom. I mean, even
Well,
with this,
well, you're right. You're right.
like
You're right.
the Patriot
you're right.
Act.
You're
You have
absolutely-
Trump.
You're absolutely correct.
You have
And
Trump who personally
cannot-
sued people for telling jokes, and he wants to
I
deport people
I
for
cannot blame
protesting
you.
Israel.
I cannot
Yeah.
blame you. I cannot
Yeah.
blame you for 1
Yeah.
second of what you're thinking. Honest to God, I cannot blame you. But I guarantee you, what true freedom is not what you have experienced throughout your lifetime. I guarantee you that. If you go back to, if you look up and genuinely research for real with an open heart, and you look at what actual republicanism is, what it once was. I'm not going to say what it is now, but this is how I base my roots on. Okay, me personally, on what it once was back in the day. Okay.
Is there like a specific
it had-
person you say represents republicanism well?
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I think
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln's pretty
Abraham
different
Lincoln
than much of the Republicans that we've seen in like any of the recent decades.
The only one. Honest to God, he's the only one. If you want to go
Yeah.
back, that's where I go back to.
Yeah.
He's my favorite president of all time. Of all time. Now I like Trump, and sometimes I love his sarcasticness. I can't deny that. I think it's funny. But there's things about him that I don't trust.
Yeah.
And but that's just me. And and I literally have been nothing but depressed and oppressed under every single Democrat that has ever taken office. Ever. They are vile. Everything about them has been just nothing but a hindrance upon my life.
Yeah, I completely disagree.
I couldn't even raise my children the way I wanted to because of them. So I actually have a full-on hatred for them, for real. It is.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that hatred is really necessary, right? I don't really have a hatred for Republican voters or whatever.
I don't think my hatred is enough.
Yeah,
for real.
I think Democrats have done more good, particularly in the last.
I love human beings.
Yeah, I think Democrats have done more good for human beings in the last 2 centuries than 1900s to 2000s. They've done more objective good.
No, actually they have not. And actually,
the New Deal got us out of the Depression.
We
saw the greatest expansion of the middle class during democratic policies, during Keynesianism, during New Deal politics. It was under neoliberalism and trickle-down economics and conservatism, under Democrats and Republicans, that we saw the outsourcing of jobs and the deindustrialization of this country. And for all Biden's flaws, he at least kind of tried to move us away from that. Not fully, because he's not as deeply ideological on that issue as me, right? And for all the flaws that Obama has, for instance, Obamacare and the Affordable Health Care Act did allow 40 million or so people to have health insurance. I think that's objectively good. Democrats did Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. That's massive. It keeps elderly people out of poverty, gives elderly people health care, gives poor people health care. That's good things.
No.
Those are good things.
No.
Those are objectively good things.
No, those are bad things. But I
think
understand what I'm saying.
I completely understand what you're saying. I think the alternative. I think the alternative.
I
understand.
Do see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and I really do genuinely.
I
really do.
Respectfully, ma'am. I understand that. I understand your perspective.
My heart goes out to you.
Yeah. Okay.
My heart goes out to you.
I understand, ma'am.
I'd like you, if you're real quick, write this down. I want you, please write it down. I would like you to, do you ever listen to podcasts at all, other podcasts?
I've seen many of the other side.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about just genuine podcasts.
Yeah, I've seen many podcasts, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's just, something you just listen to, not genuinely like watch. So you're standing there washing the dishes or whatever, and you're listening to something. Okay? If you have Spotify or what iHeartRadio or whatever, can you please go to Glenn Beck? And
I completely dislike Glenn Beck. He is no good.
I know. No. It's not even his words. He's speaking the words, but it's not his words. Someone else wrote this, and I was captivated by it. A lot of people don't like Glenn Beck because he's a Mormon. I don't give a fuck about his religion. I really don't. I
dislike the policies he advocates for.
Listening to something, and I just listened to this podcast, and I was like really captivated by it. And this is probably about, let's see, he started this particular podcast about progressivism. I want to say this podcast was maybe 3 months ago. Three, maybe 4 months ago. And I actually listened to the whole thing, and I was complete. And he didn't write any of it. He was the one speaking, but it wasn't him writing it. He didn't write any of it. It was none of his, none of his opinions or nothing. And I was like, dang, it was really captivating. So if you want to learn about progressivism, I highly suggest that one.
I will say, ma'am, I understand progressivism. I understand these terms that we talked about in this conversation.
He goes full on into history.
But we went deep into history in this one, and I think it was a very interesting conversation. And I went deep into what I would argue is a better examination of history than I expect from Glenn Beck. Remember, Glenn Beck Glenn Beck was a early supporter of the Iraq War. He's the reason why, or he is not the sole reason, but he's one of many reasons in the media that got
I agree.
a ton of Americans killed.
I agree.
A ton of Iraqis killed. So, like, yeah, I don't really think that Glenn Beck would make
a lot of Americans killed too. So let us talk about that too.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
A lot of Americans were killed in that too.
Like,
are you an American?
Yeah, the first thing I mentioned there was he got Americans killed through Iraq.
Okay. Better. Yeah. I mean, I know how many were killed. My husband was in Iraq, so you know.
And it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. No, it's crazy. I don't want soldiers to be sent off to war, right? And unfortunately, people like Glenn Beck and George W. Bush, they really pushed us into that war. But again,
and now,
I will say
if you listen to him now, you would know you would know he regrets.
He regrets it, but it's a lot. It's I saw his statements where he regrets it, but it's a lot easier to regret it after you were supporting it, and being like Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck wasn't like a soldier putting his life on the line because he genuinely believed that he was gonna help protect the country.
Agreed.
He was a media guy, so it's a lot easier for him to be like, yeah, I was wrong. After many soldiers died, after Iraqis died as well, like Glenn Beck, I don't think he's gonna give an accurate telling of literally any history of any political movement, much less progressivism. If he were just describing conservatism, I think he would give a very skewed view. But look, I mean, we talked about a lot of things.
That's where you and I agree. Is that I agree with you 1,000% there, and that's where I said earlier that the thing that was written that he read it was not his words. It was written by someone else outside of the media, and he read it and he liked it, and he said, I want to put this onto a podcast, and he made this whole series, and it's actually really fascinating. That's where I said, I don't like it when he goes into his religious stuff. I don't like it when he goes into his full-on opinions and things. I don't like that. What I do like is the news from him. I do like that. But I agree with you. Because
I don't think it's inherently wrong for like our newscasters or whatever, our commentators to have like opinions. Obviously, that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing my opinion on the internet, right? I would encourage you, if you're a podcast listener, I encourage you to look into this fellow Kyle Kulinski, this guy Sam Cedar.
Kyle, I'm sorry, I'm gonna write this down. What was it? Kyle what?
Kyle Kulinski. So that's spelled Kyle Kulinski. I think he has a good understanding of history. I think he's coming from a good place. He'll of course give his opinions as he also tells the news. And I think he has a track record of, number one, being more consistent, and number one, being more trustworthy than someone like Glenn. And I think Sam Cedar has been in the game longer, and he's also been a consistent voice. Sam Cedar spelled SAMSEDER. He runs this show, The Majority Report. He does a damn good job. He's been in this game, since the 2000s, this commentary game.
Oh, I've seen him. Yes, I've seen Sam.
Yeah, Sam's great. I like Sam. And but look, ma'am, I appreciate your time, but it is getting late. I will say I respect and appreciate that you came into this conversation a lot more willing to actually have a conversation than some of the previous callers, right? And we disagreed on a lot of different things, but it was more pleasant and enjoyable than the previous callers, that's for sure.
And you can at least say that at some points we can just agree to disagree.
Yes. And with that, ma'am, I hope you have a great night, and I'm going to let you go now, all right? Thank you.
All right. You have a great night, too.
You too. All right. All right, chat. I'm going to stop streaming soon, because I don't know if you guys can tell by my voice, but I'm a little under the weather. I'm a little sick. But I was just like, I feel like streaming. Also, Sandy Bandcamp, if you are watching on TikTok, I recommend coming to the YouTube stream. The YouTube stream is a lot more active than the TikTok stream, but thank you for watching. obviously, folks, there was a lot of disagreement in that conversation, and I guess that's the nature of political discussions. You're not going to find perfect agreement. But with that in mind, it's 2 a.m. With my throat feeling like this, I got to rest a little bit. But let me go respond to the chat real quick. Sam Cedar is the GOAT. 100% agree, Eric. Sam Cedar is the ultimate poli-sci nerd. Lol, he's the final boss of political bait. Yep. Sam Cedar's great. Sam Cedar's great. And the great part, I think, about someone like Sam Cedar and someone like Kyle Kulinski is a deep understanding of the history of this country, right? Give my state those yummy contracts. I'll give you something. Those are how bills are passed. It's called pork belly politics. That's what crony capitalism gets you. Proclaimer, the U.S. has the largest government. Glenn Beck is crazy, Linda says. Hey, shout out to all y'all that have been watching for this stream for a while. It was good. It was good. You know, a lot of y'all, I see some of y'all in the chat that like stayed around even as the algorithm started pushing it less. So, that was a good talk with her. It was worth talking to them. I see someone calling in, but I'm not doing calls anymore. I'm gonna end stream soon. Alfredo says, I would like her to call into Sam's show. I mean, it seems like, you know, the people that are willing to call into a show like mine are also people that are willing to call into other shows, so who knows, maybe she's called into Sam's show before. That first conversation, the first woman that called in, not the woman I was talking to for the longest time, but the first woman, it was so funny. I love these conservatives that will try to force me to talk about abortion. And I'm like, yeah, I don't particularly care. I just don't think people that are raped should be able to be forced to have a child of the rapist, right? I think that's pretty bad. And then they're like, oh, but what about personhood debate? Yeah, I just don't care. I just don't care what your definition of personhood is. It's different from my perspective on what personhood is. I just think rape is bad. But how about we talk about real life living people that we can completely agree are living people, that are breathing, walking, thinking, talking people that are having bombs dropped over their head. Apparently, that's a radical concept for some to care about, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I'm talking about the first woman, not the woman I was just talking to for like 70 minutes. That was a different woman. I would say that first woman was a lot more bad faith and silly. It's funny, that woman that I was talking the first time, she did this typical conservative tactic of crying identity politics, being like, I'm a woman and you're speaking over me, you're a sexist, and I'm a Mexican woman. I'm like, I thought y'all hated identity politics. First of all, when it comes to minority status, I'm Latino and I'm Asian, right? I'm the ultimate minority. So, we don't need to do identity politics here, right? We respect different people. That's the extent of my identity politics. People deserve respect. People deserve freedom. But I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm of this minority group, so you have to show me some respect, sir. But conservatives love doing that. Conservatives love doing that. It's ridiculous. Yeah. No, that was certainly interesting. Seems like she wants to call in again. I'm assuming she's like going to call in next time I stream and probably try to force a conversation about abortion. Which, again, I'm going to probably focus on the real issues. Is what it is. Going to the lady I was just talking to, we just have fundamentally different understandings of history, which is what you find with a lot of conversations with people. People don't really realize like how progressive we were as a country. Even though we had our issues, we had racism and so on and so forth, our economics were a lot more progressive for like half the entire 20th century, perhaps besides the 20s, right? The progressive era started at the beginning of the century, or at least started before the end of the previous century and continued in the beginning of that century. It kind of took a break in the 1920s with the conservative, three conservatives in a row elected president. And by 1932, with Franklin D. Roosevelt, he introduced a completely different era of progressive era. I would say the second progressive era. And after him, you had Republicans and Democrats all aligned when it came to the fact, the reality. Yeah, We need to invest in our country a certain amount. Yeah, we need a social safety net. It's pretty basic ideas. Whether you're talking to Roosevelt, Eisenhower, or even Nixon. But it was Reagan that really transformed the discourse of this country. Reagan and Clinton that moved us more towards neoliberal, unregulated capitalism. And it's kind of funny, you know, the lady had complaints about Democrats this, Democrats that. But we have been moving towards the direction of deregulation and more capitalism this, more capitalism that. Since the 80s, man. Since the 80s. I'm saying, let's make America great again, folks. Let's bring back Keynesianism. Let's bring back New Deal politics. The same politics that saw the greatest expansion of the middle class in the entire world we've ever seen. At least in the West. My OG favorite intellectual is Noam Chomsky. CS Horizon says, very interesting. I'd rather not says, not only do we need it, we can afford it. Yeah, we absolutely can afford it. We can afford to do Keynesianism again. I mean, it's the thing that makes the money. We put in the money and money is made. People are working, more money in people's pockets, more shit being bought. It's just smart economics. Smart economics. What we've been doing with trickle-down and neoliberalism, Reaganism, Clintonism, Obamaism to a degree, Trumpism for sure, is continuing a broken and silly economic system. And by the way, quickly, again, Obama, JFK, Franklin Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, Biden, Trump, none of them are socialist. None of them have fundamentally changed the means of production. That's what's required. You need to change that means of production. If it's privately owned, we're still in capitalism. And personally, I'm a social democrat. I'm fine with it. I don't think we need to fundamentally change the means of production, but it's pretty clear we need to go more towards a Keynesian approach. Like C.S. Horizon is saying, Keynesian economic theory was always my favorite when learning about economics, because it's the smartest. It's the smartest one. It's what works. There's a proven track record. It worked in the U.S. It worked in the U.K. It worked in the West. It won us the Cold War. It just works. Need the buffer for the booms and the bust. We are all babies buying the hype. Yeah. And notice how after Keynesianism, in neoliberalism, we keep getting worse and worse economic bust. 2008, worse since the Depression. The bust we saw when COVID happened, the worst since the Depression. And by the way, if we get something else, I don't know if it's going to be worse than the Depression, but it's going to be among the worst, that's for sure. And I think the tariffs particularly, the destabilizing effect that it'll have on the global economy, the fact that there will be trade wars between some of the biggest economies in the world, not just the United States and China, but the US, China, Mexico, Canada, mostly Europe, and most of these trade wars would be at our expense. Most of the attacks, most of these new tariffs, most of this trade war will be against us, the world against us, and that's the situation that unfortunately Donald Trump is setting up. Some people are concerned that some of the good things that are going to happen because of decisions made under the Biden economy, more manufacturing jobs, more investments into factory construction, more homes being built, and so on and so forth, infrastructure. It's just going to lead to good economic times, and Trump's going to take credit for it. Unfortunately, I think Trump's going to fuck it up a lot faster than he would take credit. He's going to mess it up. C.S. Horizon says, "Oh no, the Depression. Let's create jobs. That's stuff. That's good for the country. That worked out. A lot got killed before, and it could be, but the corp worked." I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but I'm sure we agree, based on the previous comments you made. But folks, if you want to support me, subscribe. You guys can also send super chats, right? There's 23 people here. If all of you guys sent $5, what would the math be on that? 23 times 5s. That would make $115. If 23 of you guys sent $5, that would be $115, fellas. And I gotta do a lot of travel soon, because I'm doing some inner Democratic Party politics in real life, and, like, I have to travel to different places. That's gonna be costly. FDR jobs. Yep, FDR did a lot of good jobs. Got a lot of jobs. But with that in mind, folks, make sure you subscribe. Feel free to send in a super chat. If you're seeing this after I end stream, you can still send in a thanks afterwards, which is like a tip. But with that, I gotta pee, folks. I gotta pee. So I'm gonna end stream now. I will see you guys later. Let me end TikTok stream.